Doug Brown. The Titans host the 49ers tonight in Nashville to start NFL Week 16. The Raiders are still in the playoff chase at 7-7, but ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum believes Las Vegas needs to make a deal for a marquee quarterback.
If you have a chance to get Russell Wilson, if you have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, you need to do it, because if you really want to compete year in and year out, well, Derek Carr is a really solid player, and once in a while he'll beat a Herbert, he'll beat a Mahomes, as we've seen. I think consistently you have to take advantage of that opportunity.
Running backs Dalvin Cook of the Vikings and Anthony McFarland of the Steelers go on the COVID-19 list. Cook is unvaccinated and will likely miss Sunday's game against the Rams. Bears quarterback Andy Dalton comes off the list today. Bulls coach Billy Donovan says all of his players have now cleared COVID-19 protocols and will be able to play against the Pacers Sunday. ESPN's Jeff Passan and Kylie McDaniel report the Dodgers agreed to a one-year, $17 million deal with Cody Bellinger before the lockout started on December 1st.
It's Keith from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, hoping you're spending as much time with your wonderful family as possible. When the calendar turns to 2022, we'll be right here talking about the NFL playoff picture. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Final show before Christmas. We have a little bit of a Christmas miracle. I'm not talking about Ian Book starting for the Saints. All right, so if you follow really quickly, if you followed this show for any length of time, you know about our ongoing feud with the chairs. Let me rephrase. My ongoing feud with the chairs, which, let's be honest, everyone has kind of at some point joined the chorus as well. Do I need to remind you about the time Hunt was sitting in the chair and just pumped all the way down, and then his chin was here, and then he got upset and threw the chair, okay? Anyway, this started many, many years ago when this station first launched, and I got to pick the chairs. I picked beautiful bar stools that were sturdy, and then weekend part-timers used them like friggin' recliners and snapped the arms right off of them, ruining our beautiful chairs, my beautiful chairs. And then Gordy decided to make a bit out of it, getting everything from old bank teller chairs that clang-a-clanged the metal of the base on the footrest onto the thing that everybody could hear. We had these cheaply made director's chairs. It was basically trying to say, hey, what cheap chairs can we get? Well, then they build this big, beautiful studio, and they actually get us these nice chairs that are somewhat comfortable, but there's no armrest. And the problem is when you sit in them, because T-Bob sat in them for so long, it's impossible to maintain any type of height on these chairs. Hydraulics just keep pumping down over and over and over again. So what I've had to resort to doing is just standing or just sort of resting my bum on the front of the chair such that it doesn't compress down. A few weeks ago, they got us new chairs. They're quite comfortable. The problem is the new chairs weren't quite tall enough. So when you sat in the chair, while very comfortable with armrests and all, we were basically like this. And I looked like a small person sitting here. It was not proportional with the set. Too much headroom on the camera. Well, we're literally about to start the show today, and one of our many bosses here, it's like Office Space. I got 8 different bosses, Bob. How many? 8. I got 8 different people telling me about it every time I screw up. Well, Chris walked in and said, I got new chairs. Like, we're literally in the show open, and I'll be damned, we have new chairs. So here, you can take this hunk of crap out of here. Let's see what we got. Chris is a Yankees fan, by the way, too. All right. Let's see if it fits. All right. Here we go. Moment of truth. Can I get a drum roll, please?
You might have to climb up.
Can I get a drum roll? Okay, here we go. Very nicely done.
You like that?
Nicely done.
You like that?
Well, okay. You know what? I've learned the chair does in fact recline, and it leans you forward. So I need to see if we can get some setting on here. Okay, we're gonna work on this.
Looks good though. Got to be honest.
By the way, the Saints have no quarterbacks, and Ian Book is going to start on Monday Night Football. We'll get to that in a second, but more pressing matters right now is the chair situation than Ian Book's season and a mostly lost year for New Orleans. All right, we have to figure out how to make. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Wait, hang on. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. That's not what we needed. Oh, there we go.
Heard that click.
There it
Heard
is.
a click.
I snapped it into place. How do we look?
Looks good. I'm not gonna lie. It looks good.
Got an armrest.
Good height.
We got good height.
Good height.
I've got the back of the chair in place now, such that I won't recline any farther. Excuse me. We might have a winner until T-Bob destroys it. If T-Bob just, I'm just going to take this chair out of here after the show every day. And put there's only two. So our guests are going to be relegated to the to the chairs that pump all the way down. Well, we're 50%. I feel badly for Muso, the smallest person that sits in any of these chairs. Muso and Mario there when they do our early line. I mean, well, I guess you two can both use the big chair. You'll need it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you have the small chair,
how are we both going to use the big chair?
Big chairs. You two will use the big chairs. The new chairs.
Oh! You said chair, so I was like, that's only one.
Well, the big chair. You'll use a big chair.
Yeah.
You use a big chair.
Yes. It'll be good.
I think you got a little upset that I said they're the smallest guys here. Kind of felt like it, didn't it, Chris?
No.
Didn't it?
Nah.
Well, this is a little Christmas miracle. Tell you what. It's a Christmas miracle. That's not the friggin' Christmas star, Grizz. It's the flame. It's the flame from the nitroglycerin plant. What does he say?
The light of the sewage treatment plant.
The sewage treatment plant.
Most underrated character in that entire movie is Uncle Lewis. He's so good.
Sewage. Don't drop that. And the rock. Just play Christmas Vacation lines all day today, please.
Okay.
Just every rejoin, just play a drop from Christmas Vacation. All right. I don't really have enough time right now to go as deep dive into the Ian Book stuff that I want. Suffice to say that if you're just joining us, you haven't heard the news today. Both Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian have entered the COVID protocol. That a day after Adam Troutman entered the COVID protocol. So we're very likely looking at Ian Book starting at quarterback for New Orleans on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. So I do want to go deep dive into that. We do have one slight problem here. There's one. Because of the armrest. The armrest keeps hitting. If you turn, the armrest keeps hitting the headphone console. So I don't know.
Can you just scoot over a little bit?
Trying that. But the problem if I scoot over, is my head blocks the logo.
Yeah, that's
panel.
true. You're sitting too high now.
It's why I position myself the way I do. It's always something.
Yeah, can't always just be easy.
It's always something. All right, we are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Okay, let me just, so I stay on time, we'll grab a quick break. I'll come back and I'll do the full take on Ian Book, what we might expect, what this means for the Saints, short, long term against Miami, all that sort of stuff. Stick around. Our final show of the year for yours truly. Anyway, I'll be out all of next week. So my last show of the year, we're going out with a bang here with the new chair. That it needs a little work. Not gonna lie to you. Like the new chair is compressing also.
Maybe it's you.
I'll maintain that T-Bob is a bigger human than me.
Well, I know, but the chair's compressing now.
If it's compressing for me, it's going to happen for him too and anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
I guess. I don't know.
All right. Damn it. Dude, this is like a roller coaster. Sitting on this chair is like sitting on a roller coaster. Like being
it's a problem if you're not a big theme park guy.
It's like being in a jump. There's no stability. It's up down with every step. It's like on a trampoline. It's like you're walking on a train. It's like you're sitting on a trampoline. All right. I might just go back to the old chair.
Well, Chris took that one.
Oh.
I think. Maybe not.
No. There's one right there.
Okay.
Oh, that's the padded bottom one right there. Maybe he did.
I mean, there's one over there though. From that's just.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Got a little Pelicans action tonight. How about it? Pelicans at the Magic. You need a place to watch. Get them by Pluckers. You also got Thursday night football. Niners at Titans. No better place to watch than at Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Not only do you have the Pelicans, Thursday night football, you've also got bowl action virtually every night of the week. I mean, right now you've got a game going on. It's the Frisco Football Classic with North Texas and Miami of Ohio. But tonight, the Gasparilla Bowl. How about it? Central Florida against the University of Florida. This one at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. 6 o'clock kick. Why not go watch it at Pluckers? Eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV. Tonight and every Thursday, all-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites. Get them by Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bear.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service,
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I don't have one yet. I have to record it. I can't play two things out of the same pie. I'll fix it for the next break. Matt wants me to play quotes from Christmas Vacation with each rejoin, which we will do. Just right now, you just have to live with NSYNC only, and the next break we'll fix it.
It's not an unreasonable request.
No, of course not. And we're gonna make it happen.
Okay. I can just wait until you give me one.
Then it would be silence though, because I would have to turn this off. No, just next break.
Well, you can put him on camera and stuff.
You want me to just quote something real quick?
Yeah, do that. Do that. With a voice, with an accent.
Now I'm on the spot.
Yeah, give me something. Just give me something.
Yeah. Hey kids, look, a deer.
Bingo.
There you go.
There it is. You could have flipped me off too. That would have been really
well,
good.
I didn't know if Paul had me on camera.
He did.
So,
That would have been really good.
Go full Eli Manning on it. Just double birds.
Hey, it is cable. You can do what you want. Technically, you can't. You do what you want. And YouTube, you can really do whatever you want, as evidenced by Whiskey and Wine and Nightcap Moscona and things of that nature. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. It is our last show before Christmas. We're off tomorrow. And then Muso and Mario are going to host next week, Monday through Thursday, and then be off New Year's Eve, excuse me. So the COVIDs have struck the Saints yet again. 2 weeks ago, Cam Jordan, Mark Ingram were both out against the Jets. Last week, the Saints were without Sean Payton against Tampa Bay. And we learned yesterday that Adam Troutman was going to be out, which means the Saints were down to just Nick Vannett at tight end. And now today, Thursday, we learned that the Saints quarterback room has been hit by the COVIDs, with both Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian testing positive. They are in the league's COVID protocol, which means it's the Ian Book show, y'all. That's it. He's the last remaining quarterback. Alvin Kamara would be the Saints' emergency quarterback as of right now, should they need him. There is the possibility the Saints could try to add a quarterback, and likely would try to add a quarterback somewhere to serve as the backup. But as of now, it's Ian Book against the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football. Book will become very likely the fifth quarterback to start for the Saints this year, after having one guy for the last 15 years. I want to talk more about Book, but this, y'all, is why for the last half decade or so, when many of you were saying, get Breeze out of here, he's over the hill, past his prime, I kept saying, hey, no. You ride that thing until the wheels fall off. The Saints looked for a franchise quarterback for 40 years. They finally found one. You hang on for dear life until that thing bucks you. Because look at what life without Drew Brees has been for New Orleans this year. Now the fifth quarterback this season to start for the Saints. Very likely going to be Ian Book on Monday Night Football. Book's opportunity is intriguing, though. Remember, this is the first year that the NFL has gone to 3 preseason games. And the Saints only played 2. Just as a quick refresher, they opened up preseason on the road against Baltimore, which they lost. They played at home against Jacksonville, which they won. And their third preseason game was supposed to be at home against the Cardinals, which got canceled because of Hurricane Ida. So in a year where they went from 4 to 3 preseason games, the Saints actually only played 2, and Ian Book played in just one of them. Ian Book's only action as a New Orleans Saint was in the preseason opener against Baltimore. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston played the first half of that game, and Ian Book got the second half. Then in the second preseason game, we saw Hill, Winston, and Trevor Siemian for the entirety of that second preseason game. We did not see Ian Book. and then the third preseason game was canceled. So the only action we've seen of Ian Book all year was the second half of the first preseason game against Baltimore. He was 9 of 16 for 126 yards, no touchdowns, and threw a pick. The pick was the game sealer. If you remember, you probably don't, but it was the first preseason game. You probably don't remember this. But it was an off-balance, fallen away heave late in that ball game, and it was intercepted by Sean Wade with about a minute and a half remaining, and that sealed the game for Baltimore. That was it. That's the only preseason action we saw. That's the only action we've seen of Ian Book the entire season. For whatever it's worth, this is what Sean Payton during the summer had to say about Ian Book during camp as they were getting ready for this season.
He's done a good job. He's picked things up. You know, we give him a hard time because he's a rookie, but he's handling everything we're giving him, and I like the early signs and the moxie from him. It's been good.
Book gave sort of a generic, it's going well, I'm learning a lot, but he also talked about the growing pains of being a rookie in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. It's obviously there's a lot of growing to do, for everybody, as a rookie and as you go on. I've had those moments. You can't be late. It'll be a pick and it'll go the other way, that's for sure. And maybe in college you might be able to get away with it, and especially in high school. But just got to be on time. You got to know where your checkdowns are. It's huge. You got to understand where everyone's got to be. And honestly, I try to think of it as, what the defense is doing. What are they trying to accomplish in their coverage? That's the biggest thing, and that'll help me get through all my reads quicker. But yeah, I've had a few moments like that. Good and bad, obviously. I think you come into this league and you're going to have a few of those moments.
Smart. Played a lot of football at Notre Dame. The winningest quarterback in that program's history. Book was 30-5 as the starter at Notre Dame. Won more games than anybody. 4th-round pick of the Saints, of course. And likely would have been a higher draft pick, but for his stature. He's 6 foot tall. And that's a knock on a lot of guys if you're not Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield and you have that type of dynamic ability. And remember, Mike Detillier actually called that on the show last year, that Ian Book, that the Saints were going to take Ian Book, and he called that before the draft because of a lot of conversations that he had had with Sean Payton, and knowing that Sean Payton really liked Ian Book. The athleticism could potentially provide that Taysom Hill role of an athletic quarterback that could be used as a runner without compromising what Taysom does as a thrower, which he's just not very good at. I'll also say the benefit of Ian Book is that he's been with New Orleans all year. So you can scheme a game plan and run your offense. Look by contrast what Washington football team just had to do. They go and they pluck Garrett Gilbert, Caleb Gilbert was a pitcher at LSU. Garrett Gilbert off of another team's practice squad a couple of days before the game, and boom, he's starting. You don't know the personnel. You don't know the playbook. You don't know the system. All you know is just basic concepts that you can go try to execute. And it didn't go well for Washington, obviously. The benefit of Ian Book having been here all year is while you're not getting a ton of reps, because live reps are so limited in the NFL in practice now, they all go to the starters. Ian Book hadn't been getting a lot of reps. At least he's been there in the meetings, on the sideline, at practices. He knows the playbook. He knows the terminology. He knows the personnel. He knows what they're trying to accomplish. So you can actually go implement a game plan. Now, how well does he execute it? We'll see. He hadn't played really this year. Hadn't played at all in the regular season. But at least it's a guy who's been there, and you have that benefit. The other thing, the Saints are 30th in the NFL in passing offense and dead last in completion percentage. Hey, Muse, here's a Christmas vacation line for you. Worse! Look around you, Ellen! We're on the threshold of hell! How can it be any worse? You're literally dead last in completion percentage. How can it be any worse? It can't be. You're dead last. So, hey, Ian, don't be the worst quarterback in the NFL this weekend. Maybe he will be. Don't know. Maybe it won't matter. You just won a game 9-0. Who the hell knows? I'll talk specifically about Miami, this matchup against Miami in a second. But the other interesting part of this, keep in mind, if Simeon and Hill both tested positive on Wednesday, there's a chance with the 10-day window they'd be back for next weekend against Carolina. But if it was Thursday where they had their first positive test, however the timeline works out, they may not be available next week either. So you may get Ian Book for a couple of games. And if nothing else, this could either validate or invalidate the idea of him as a valuable project, a developmental project as an NFL quarterback. There's some legitimacy there to where you could say, all right, at least you get a look at him. I mean, when the Saints went on their when they were in the midst of the 4-game losing streak, we said, all right, look, it's Taysom's turn the rest of the way. It's just got to be. Figure out if he can be a quarterback. Give him the rest of the year, for better or worse. I think we've got the answer already. But now you can take a look at Ian Book and say, is this a project? If not, if this isn't a project you want to move forward with, that at least tells you what you're looking for this offseason at quarterback. Maybe you go look for another player to draft and develop at the quarterback position. Maybe that solidifies a decision if you're going to bring back Jameis or however it may work. At least you get an opportunity to look at Ian Book in some live game settings. Specifically against Miami this weekend, that Miami defense during their winning streak has been really good at pressuring the quarterback. As a matter of fact, just in the last 3 games alone, their sacks per game average for the season is 2.6, about 2.5 sacks per game. In the last 3 games, it's almost 5 a game. It's been incredible, their ability to rush the passer here during this winning streak. So the rest of Miami defensively doesn't really pop. They're kind of middle of the pack. They're 18th in total defense, 22nd in pass defense, 7th against the run, 17th in scoring. But they pressure the quarterback, and that tells me, man, you better hope you get Ramczyk and Armstead back this week. We'll wait on the injury report, especially as we get closer to Monday. The benefit is obviously you get an extra day with it being Monday Night Football. But if you have Ramczyk and Armstead back, I'd feel much more comfortable with that rookie quarterback making his first start if your all-pro tackles are available. But, man, if the Saints lose this game, like we mentioned, we've seen the line go from Saints -3.5 to Miami -1.5. It'll show you just how impactful the quarterback position is, even when your quarterback is Taysom Hill. This is my feeling for the Saints relative to the postseason is they got to win out. Because my fear is if they go 9-8, they're going to lose a tiebreaker. The numbers don't work in their favor, having lost to the Eagles. Now they beat Washington football team, which is a good thing, but they also don't hold the tiebreaker presently against Minnesota. I don't think the Saints would win a tiebreaker at 9-8. I think 10-7 is where they're going to need to be. So they'll need to win out, which is a tall task. So if you lose this game, I think that does really crush your playoff chances. It just puts them on life support. You'll need a ton of help. You'll need everything to go your way over the final 2 weeks. You'll need to win both your games and basically have everybody else lose out. So got to win this one. Got to find a way somehow to win this one with Ian Book under center, or your playoff hopes are, for all intents and purposes, done. Should have Sean Payton back. Let's see how the rest of the injury report looks. But if nothing else, get a look at a guy that they think might at least have the opportunity to be your future, a guy that's been around the team now for a year, a guy that played a lot of football at the major college level and knows how to win and expects to win and is a smart, heady player. See if he can do it on Monday night against the Dolphins. Ian Book set to start, most likely, for the Saints against the Dolphins with both Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian in the COVID protocol. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, go around the SEC. Basketball Tigers blew out Lipscomb last night. Will Wade still yelling at his team. We'll go around the SEC Fantasy Blitz in about 15 minutes, and Gordon McKernan is going to join us. That's attorney Gordon McKernan. He's getting into the NIL game and trying to organize LSU boosters by way of NIL, something that's needed. We'll talk to him about it coming up in 30 minutes. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Tell you every day, buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery for more than 60 years. When we get into the winter months, it's actually the perfect time to plant trees and shrubs. So maybe this Christmas or holiday season, if you got a citrus tree as a gift, or maybe you're putting in a pool, or maybe you want to just add some privacy shrubs to your outdoor area, this is actually the perfect time of year to plant them. And nobody has a better selection than Clegg's Nursery. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. 4 locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area, so you're never far from a Clegg's Nursery location. Not only do they have full greenhouses, but they're also partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so everything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So check off those honeydews. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Toyota's ending the year with our annual Toyotathon event. Come on down to Happy Town to pre-order your new Toyota today. We also have a large number of pre-owned vehicles on location. Come celebrate Toyotathon with us at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, Jake here from Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pop?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Before we begin, since this is Aunt Bethany's 80th Christmas, I think she should lead us in the saying of grace.
Oh, great. What, dear? Grace. Grace. She passed away 30 years ago.
Oh, you missed it. They want you to say your favorite character. You left out his line.
There'll be plenty more Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany, I promise. His fingers.
It's like mangled old fingers coming out of his mouth. So good. Oh, it's not good. Breaking news here. We, in the last segment, told you that Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian have gone on the COVID list, but that's not it. The Saints have now formally announced 9 players have gone to the COVID list. We did mention Hill and Siemian. Also, guard James Carpenter, linebacker Caden Ellis, safety Jeff Heath, defensive end Jalen Holmes, safety Malcolm Jenkins, tackle Jordan Mills, who started last week with Ramczyk out, defensive tackle Christian Ringo, who's been a key part of that rotation. Man, oh man, not good. There's no other way. It's objectively a very bad thing. Jalen Holmes has played really well at defensive end, considering the injuries the Saints have had. Christian Ringo has been a good part of that defensive tackle rotation. Jordan Mills, as we mentioned, started at right tackle for you this past week with Hurst at left, with your 2 starting tackles out. Caden Ellis has been a really good rotational piece for you and a very good special teams player. And then Malcolm Jenkins, your starting safety and really the captain of your defensive secondary there. Malcolm Jenkins will be out for this week as well. So Saints getting crunched there on numbers this week with Miami coming in on Monday Night Football. It's something that's run rampant in the NFL, and New Orleans clearly no exception. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're aboard with us here. Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. All of our friends over at Michelli wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Michelli.com is where you can learn more if in 2022 you want your business to run more efficiently. If you need something weighed, measured, they do it all. Remember their track system as well. Gives you 24/7, 365 access to all of your calibration certificates, and that is a free service to all of their customers. It is Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with 29 labs in 11 different states. You're never far. Check them out online at Michelli.com. Okay, it's After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri quarterback Connor Bazelak has entered the transfer portal. He did not appear in the Armed Forces Bowl on Wednesday due to what was described as a leg injury. Mizzou lost to Army 24-22. Bazelak will have 2 years of eligibility remaining wherever he goes.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
An addition to the Rebels roster with the commitment of wide receiver Jordan Watkins. He's a transfer from Louisville. Watkins started all 12 games this past year for the Louisville Cardinals. Chose the Rebels over Florida State, West Virginia, and Memphis. Finished the season with 35 catches for 529 yards.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Wide receiver Cedric Tillman will return in 2022. That follows the lead of quarterback Hendon Hooker. Tillman's coming off the best season of his career. Could have declared for the draft. Instead, he'll head back to Rocky Top. That gives the Vols an encore appearance for one of the best quarterback-receiver combos in the league this year. Tillman had 57 receptions for 931 yards and 9 touchdowns as a redshirt junior. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining because of COVID, but will likely just use one of them.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Redshirt freshman offensive lineman Ray Curry has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Curry did not appear in a game during his Razorback career. 6'6", 315. He was a 3-star recruit back in the class of 2020 out of Memphis. He was the number 81 offensive tackle in the country. Chose the Razorbacks over Auburn, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, and others. The second Arkansas offensive lineman to enter the portal. On the hardwood Wednesday night, LSU got a win, of course, but that wasn't the only league team in action. Tennessee handed 6th-ranked Arizona its first loss of the season, 77-73 at Thompson Bowling Arena. John Fulkerson had a monster day with 24 and 10. Auburn blew out Murray State 71-58. Kentucky pounded Western Kentucky 95-60 at Rupp Arena. Florida beat Stony Brook 87-62. South Carolina got a win over Army. Big offensive night for the Gamecocks, 105-75. East Tennessee State beats Georgia. The Bulldog rally came up just short in the second half after trailing by 9 at half. East Tennessee State beats Georgia 86-84 as the Bulldogs fall to 5-7. Illinois pounded Mizzou 88-63. And Vanderbilt went on the road out to the island, and I got a win over Hawaii 68-54. Scottie Pippen Jr. had 21 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online, gcopnet.com. Today, y'all, at 5 o'clock, we're drawing for the first game in our Courtside for Charity giveaway that you've heard us talk about here for several weeks. Our buddy Trey Beal over at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're the official office equipment provider of the Pelicans. They have floor seats for Pelicans games, and they are giving away or putting up for raffle their courtside seats for 4 games, including the first one is against Cleveland coming up on December the 28th. So we are going to raffle off those tickets at 5 o'clock. Remember, it's $20 per chance. Go to the website, 1045ESPN.com. The Courtside for Charity tab is right there. Click it. And you'll see the entry form right there. It's $20 a chance. All of the proceeds at the end of the 4th raffle will be divided among 4 different charities: St. Lillian Academy, the Arc of Baton Rouge, Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and Alzheimer's Services of the capital area. So the games are Cleveland on the 28th, Golden State on January 6th, the Clippers on January 13th, and the Rockets on February the 8th. So after we draw for the Rockets game, the total cumulative amount will be divided evenly among those 4 charities. Anyway, but we're drawing for the first game in a little more than an hour from right now. So it's not too late. If you want to buy your raffle ticket and get in, do it right now. Go to 1045ESPN.com. You'll see Courtside for Charity, and you can enter right there, 1045ESPN.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for being here with us. Darin Tietgen with our Fantasy Blitz coming up in just a few minutes. With all the COVID cancellations, my goodness, good luck to everyone who's trying to set a fantasy football roster to figure all this out. So what sleepers might you keep an eye on? All those projections, Darin will have it. If you got questions, get them in. Email me, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. Tweet me at Matt Moscona at 104. Hey, Twitter world. Just at Matt Moscona at 1045ESPN. Or you can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat or text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We'll get to Fantasy Blitz in just a second. The SEC average home football attendance numbers are out, and LSU is 6th relative to capacity. A&M, Georgia, Bama, Auburn, Florida, then LSU. This here says that LSU filled 92.6% of Tiger Stadium this year. And I have a full head of hair. Because clearly, if you couldn't see that Tiger Stadium was empty, then you couldn't see that I'm bald. 92.6%. That obviously goes by the announced numbers, and LSU only announces paid attendance. But I will say this. If LSU had 92% of capacity paid this year, that's not bad. So even though fans weren't showing up, I'll grant you, fans don't show up, you don't get the parking, you don't get the concessions, all of the windfall from that. People buying their beers and their wine and their hamburgers, hot dogs, their all of that stuff. So yes, that's a big deal from all of that ancillary income, but you set your budget based on what you know, and you count on season ticket and ticket sales as a given when you set your budget. And clearly LSU is at 92% capacity for Tiger Stadium this year. So even though people didn't show up, still sold a bunch of tickets. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. Fantasy Blitz when we come back to wrap up hour number 1. We'll talk some NIL with attorney Gordon McKernan in 17 minutes from right now. He's apparently trying to organize a lot of LSU boosters to get in this game and make sure LSU doesn't fall further behind. We'll talk to him coming up here shortly. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Official banking partner of the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers. That is Hancock Whitney Bank. For 120 years, Hancock Whitney Bank has made your dreams our mission. That's their slogan, your dreams, our mission. 120 years strong, 120 years helping our communities post storms like Hurricane Ida, 120 years of helping small businesses build and grow, 120 years of helping people prepare to put their kids through college or whatever other financial resource or service you may need, or even it's just something as simple as like me today going to my Hancock Whitney branch because I needed a cash withdrawal. I did that today at the government branch right there near Foster. Hancock Whitney Bank, there are branches all over and financial centers all over not only Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the entire Gulf Coast because they're here to serve the entire Gulf Coast like they have been for more than a century now. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, the official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and of the New Orleans Saints.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.com.
Peekaboo.
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the pittance?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, let's do it. What a wild week this will be in the NFL. So if you are a fantasy football owner, God bless you. It has got to be a challenge considering all of the COVID absences. Now, Darin, Tietgen, whotostart.com. They're here to help you get through your fantasy playoffs, and especially now, man, if you need help with sleepers, this is a great time to join up over at whotostart.com. Darin, thanks for the time, and how are you?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, it's going to be a wild one.
Man, how challenging is this for you and your team over there, trying to put out projections when you don't even know who's going to play?
Yeah, it's really an hour-by-hour thing, and then we're just, I'm glued to Twitter. I'm looking at who I would like in somebody's stead if somebody happens to go out, like Dalvin Cook. Obviously, Alexander Madison steps in. We have a couple more sleepers for you if you want to jump into that. But
well, let's start with tonight's ball game like we always do for those who maybe have San Francisco and Tennessee and what we're looking for tonight. Then we'll get into some of the guys that are going to be absent this week.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to try to control the ball on the ground. So Dante Foreman for Tennessee is a nice maybe like flex play or even second wide or running back. I think he finds the end zone this week. And then for the Niners, it looks like Jeff Wilson is probably going to take most of the snaps. But Deebo Samuel is going to figure into the mix too. So good week to have Deebo. He should find the end zone. Not really liking much of the passing game, but George Kittle will probably figure into the mix at some point tonight.
Okay, let's get into some sleepers, and we'll start at quarterback because of many of the obvious issues at quarterback that's hit even a place like the Saints with both Simeon and Hill out and Ian Book ready to start. So who are some of the sleepers or options that may be out there for guys looking for quarterbacks?
Yeah, Miami is going to be in an interesting position because they're still alive. They're at the Saints. Obviously, the Saints' defense is going to they'll throw a lot at that Tua, but Tua still remains a nice option to get maybe 20 fantasy points for you. If you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, maybe a Justin Fields against Seattle, who gives up quite a bit of points to opposing quarterbacks. Maybe even Trevor Lawrence, who's playing at the Jets, who give up a lot of fantasy points to quarterbacks as well. But someone like Tua would probably be your best bet.
All right, other sleepers that you're looking at this week.
Yeah, just based on potentially being out with COVID, if Austin Eckler's out, Justin Jackson becomes a really nice play against the Texans. And then it looks like Patrick Mahomes is going to be without his top two pass catchers. So look for someone like Mecole Hardman to step up in their absence.
If you got questions for Darin, you can get them in. You can email us, tweet us, jump in the YouTube chat, or you can text me in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Let's jump into some of your questions here. This one from Brennan, who said, who to start flex PPR league? He's got Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, or Antonio Brown.
I think you're going Brown there. Haven't heard anything on Evans today, but I know that obviously Godwin's out. Brown apparently is healthy as he's been all year, stepping into a nice matchup. So I think Antonio Brown is your play there at flex.
Okay, here's one from Noel who said who to start. He needs help at the flex spot. He's got A.J. Brown, Chuba Hubbard, and Robbie Anderson. Who to start?
It sounds like A.J. Brown just came off IR and is a decent play tonight. Hubbard, the matchup's not good. And then Robbie Anderson hasn't really done much as of late. I think it'd be a coin flip there between the two wide receivers. If Brown is good to go tonight, I think you might just roll the dice and play Brown.
Okay. Let's get an email in. This one from Kyle. Let's see. He needs one. He's got Pollard, Henderson, or Edmonds. Who to start?
I think Edmonds is kind of a sneaky play, especially in PPR format, coming back. I like the matchup against the Colts. I think Edmonds is probably your play there.
All right, see if we can get a couple of more. Let's see. Twitter, Van Jefferson or Amari Cooper, who to start?
Going to go with Cooper there. Like the matchup. Dak's been kind of up and down the past few weeks, but I expect a bounce-back week just based on the matchup, and Cooper should see quite a bit of targets. So I like Cooper.
CYE or Foreman? I wonder if that's Clyde. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire there, but or Foreman.
Yeah, both. We like both of them this week. I think in a PPR format, you're going with Edwards-Helaire. And if it's in a standard league, I think you're siding with Foreman.
All right, Darin Tietgen's with us, who2start.com. It's the numeral 2, who2start.com. You can get your questions in. There was another one asking about Deontay Harris. He's not going to be back this week. He's still out for another week. So What do you project with Saints pass catchers, which is tough? I mean, maybe a guy like Marquez Callaway who had had a 100-yard week last week.
Yeah, I was going to say Callaway's probably your best bet there. Everybody else is not worth looking at, especially with Book at quarterback. It's going to be a tough. You expect Miami to throw the entire enchilada at him on Sunday. So, excuse me, on Monday. So, yeah, Deontay Harris, if he's out, look for Callaway to step up.
All right, real quick, we're like under 30 seconds. Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, Odell. Which one for wide receiver 1 and 2, and then flex? He's got Mike Williams, Hunter Renfrow, Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, and Odell.
I think you're benching the last two there. The other three have better prospects.
I appreciate your brevity. Hey, man, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks always for being part of the show. We'll talk next week.
All right, thanks.
We'll see you. That is Darin Tietgen. It's AFR.
AFR.
As we put a button here on hour number 1, remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, gmfsmortgage.com. And right now, our friends at GMFS Mortgage, all throughout the month of December, their Go Local campaign is helping support local businesses during the month of December. All throughout December, if you go to gmfsmortgage.com, you see the Go Local tab right there on the flipper on the homepage. You can get all the info about how you can help support local businesses and win $1,000 per week in gift cards to great local businesses. So GMFS Mortgage has been so ingrained in our communities for more than 20 years now. Not only are they helping us financially, helping you realize the American dream of home ownership, maybe save money each month by refinancing your mortgage, they're also helping small businesses with their Go Local campaign all throughout the month of December. Log on to gmfsmortgage.com to learn more. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives.
Thank you, Acadiana, for 54 years of allowing Corval Toyota in Opelousas to take care of you and your automotive needs. Enjoy this holiday season with family and friends. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. 49ers and Titans tonight in Nashville to open up Week 16 in the NFL. ESPN's Teron Davenport with the latest on one of Tennessee's biggest offensive weapons.
Derrick Henry will probably be back for that first week of the playoffs. That's kind of the expectation. Possibly Week 18. It's not likely, but it's possible.
Saints quarterbacks Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian both go on the COVID-19 list after testing positive. 2 of the 9 New Orleans players who go on the list today. Missouri quarterback Connor Bazelak will enter the transfer portal. He was the SEC co-freshman of the year in 2020. The Brooklyn Nets get good news. James Harden, Paul Millsap, and Javon Carter all clear from COVID-19 protocols. The team expects to have enough players to face the Lakers on Christmas Day. The Nets' last 3 games were postponed. Pelicans guard Nickeil Alexander-Walker tests positive for COVID-19. He's the first player on the team to test positive this season.
It's Keith from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, hoping you're spending as much time with your wonderful family as possible. When the calendar turns to 2022, we'll be right here talking about the NFL playoff picture. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Mike Triplett next hour. Big news if you haven't heard it yet. Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, 2 of the 9 players that the Saints have added to the COVID list. Very likely that we will see Ian Book make the start of Monday Night Football for the Saints against Miami. So more on that as we move through Mike Triplett next hour. Last week with the early signing period, NIL became front and center again for many of us, especially as it pertains to recruiting. And to be abundantly clear, NCAA rules do prohibit NIL enticements in recruiting. Sometimes things stray of the rules, but for all intents and purposes, one thing is very clear, is that other schools have been far outpacing LSU with respect to NIL deals for their student athletes, even though the schools themselves can't facilitate those. Gordon McKernan, of course, is an injury attorney based out of Baton Rouge, recently agreed to terms with an NIL deal with LSU women's basketball standout Alexis Morris, and apparently is maybe looking to try to get LSU moving in a more positive direction as with respect to NIL. And Gordon's good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. Gordon, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas. How are you?
I'm doing well. Merry Christmas to you.
We appreciate it. All right, let's start with the deal that you and your firm did with Alexis Morris. Why? Why jump into the NIL space?
Well, I had looked at it last year when it first came out, and there seemed like this mad rush out of the gate, and you didn't have solid footing really at that time. And so I kind of stepped back after evaluating some deals, and then had the good fortune to meet Coach Mulkey and sit down and visit with her at lunch, and just was really impressed by her vision for the program, and decided that I wanted to be a part of that. And the easiest and best way for me to do it was just to try to see if I could get an NIL deal with one of her players. And after doing some research and looking into things, decided that Alexis would be the perfect fit, and very excited about it, and just love her as a person on and off the court.
Is this the only NIL deal you've done so far?
This is, yes.
What so you said you looked into it, earlier, and NIL went live, I guess, officially over the summer, June or July. What has maybe surprised you or been different from what your perception might have been before to what the reality is?
Right. Well, initially coming out, I wasn't expecting, I would say, the uneven footing or what the agents and the players were thinking the value of a single tweet or a couple of tweets or one photo would be worth relative to how it would benefit a business or any business. And that's what I was saying. Like, if you just want money and nothing in return, because that's basically all I'm getting out of it, I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in the relationship. And that was a little surprising. I do think now that the players are beginning to understand what really works both ways for the player and for a business is to have a relationship over a period of months or a whole season. And that's what we've done with Alexis.
Gordon McKernan is our guest. Just for the record, what is your relationship with LSU? Personally, professionally, like, are you an alum? We know JG was a walk-on.
Right.
I mean, but fill us in about you and your family and the relationship there.
Yeah, well, it goes way back. Both of my parents went to LSU. My dad actually played basketball at LSU back in the 50s. Then I attended LSU. I played for Coach Brown. He had a freshman team because there was so much talent when I came out in 1984. They were just stockpiling players to help with practice and things like that. So I did that for a semester, hurt my ankle that semester. And then my wife, my kids, my father-in-law, Jimmy Field, played quarterback there. So it's a deep relationship in terms of having gone there, a love for the university, and then want to continue to support it in many ways since then and continue to do so.
Okay, that's a great foundation to build on this conversation because people, like a lot of people listening right now, have a similar relationship. Went there, grew up cheering for LSU, family, love for LSU, all that, want to see LSU succeed. So we go through last week, and then the NIL conversation becomes massive because we see Travis Hunter go to Jackson State. You just never see a 5-star sign with an HBCU, and there are these assumptions that there was a 7-figure deal with Barstool, and there's a lot of other ones that are being whispered about, and some that have already become public. So let me get, as a very prominent business owner, let me get your perspective on what is happening right now across college football as it pertains to NIL and enticements and things like that.
Yeah, well, obviously I don't have any proof of things that are going on, right? But you hear the whispers and you see some things that make you scratch your head, right? And why would that 5-star recruit end up there? So it does make you suspect circumstantially or however. But I do think that there's an arms race going on, just like the football facilities and things that you have to build to compete. You better be building an NIL program, you being the community, the businesses around it, to help your athletes at your university that you support. And that's what has to be happening. LSU, from my understanding, I haven't talked to them directly about it, but I know they're generally looking at things. When I say LSU, TAF or other organizations out there may be doing stuff. I know that myself and some other business owners are banding together quickly and have been and have begun organizing and raising commitment levels that will be substantial, that will be 7 figures, that will be, $1 million plus, easy, to get the word out that LSU is going to support, not LSU, the business community here is going to support its NIL potential for the athletes that go to that school.
So, and Gordon McKernan's with us for a couple more minutes. To be clear, just for the record, have you spoken with anyone directly associated with LSU, the administration, athletic administration, et cetera, about all of this?
No, I haven't. I have gotten pointed in the direction I could go. Where can I learn about this? I don't want to commit a mistake. So, of course, we had to reach out to compliance for Alexis, right? So I had to figure that out. How do we do it? Make sure we have the right contract, get it submitted. So generally understanding how to learn of it. And then once you start doing that, you start seeing all these other schools and what they're doing. When I mean schools, I mean the support, the community that supports them, right? South Carolina has a big one and Florida has a big one. So that's what I mean when I say a school. It's the community of business owners that are supporting them.
Look, some have been very overt. The University of Texas.
Yes.
There's a deal that an MMA facility in Florida did for the entire University of Miami roster. So yes, we understand. Like there are businesses that support certain universities that are collaborating to help expand an NIL program independent of the
Correct.
university directly. So I
right.
understand that you're treading lightly and we all understand why and not trying to run afoul of anything. I completely respect that and
Correct.
understand. To what you said that you've spoken to other business owners,
right?
To please elaborate to whatever degree you can or feel comfortable on the extent of those conversations and what might be expected.
Well, as you could imagine, other business owners who have a love for LSU are reading of these stories of Texas and Florida and South Carolina and Washington, and I believe there's close to 20 schools now that have what's kind of become to known as a collective or an exchange, right? And that's the sharing of business owners and fans can get involved and help support these NIL athletes. And unfortunately here in Louisiana, our state law is a little bit unclear as to how it can be structured and organized from different standpoints, and we're trying to work through that. So we've begun talking about that and figuring out what is the best way to advance this and quickly, because we need to get out there for, the university, Coach Kelly, all the programs so that they can point to, look, you're going to have opportunities for NIL if you come to LSU. And I know they can't promise them that, but the kids will understand that there is a collective or an exchange in Louisiana for LSU athletes. So that's what we're talking about, trying to figure out the mechanism, the structure, the commitment levels, and how quickly we can get it done.
Is there enough money within LSU support, within LSU support system, to be competitive in that respect with Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, so the ones that we see that are really making headway in this space?
Yeah, I believe there is. Obviously, Texas sometimes seems to be in a different league of their own, whether it's their own television network or other things they do. It's just a little bit different, right? Things are bigger in Texas in a way. But all those other schools, and to some degree Texas, I believe we're going to be very competitive.
What's a realistic time frame for you all that are organizing to organize?
Right. Well, that's a good question. Like I mentioned, there's some different statutes that we're trying to look at in terms of what we can do. But I'm hopeful 90 days, 120 days, we can have something formally organized and launched. Now, that doesn't prevent anything in the meantime from any business owner here in Louisiana. It doesn't matter if you're a mom and pop convenience store on the corner in LaRose, or you have a big industrial facility in Monroe, right? Any business owner has the right and can reach out to any NIL athlete at any school, right? And say, look, I'd like to try to strike a deal with you, and an athlete can do the same. So particularly here at LSU, I want people and business owners to understand that. We don't have to sit on the sidelines and wait, just like I didn't do with Alexis. And right now I'm currently pursuing several other deals with, prominent LSU football players. I mean, I'm trying to put some things together. So I think we as supporters of LSU or whatever college here in the state you love, you need to get off the sidelines and get in the NIL game.
I could talk to you all day about this. I'm going to be very respectful of your time and not keep you much longer. But I find this topic fascinating for a lot of very obvious reasons, because this is a transformative time in the history of intercollegiate athletics. It's not even debatable, like what we are all living through right now. But you also mentioned statutes. Have you spoken to anyone within the state legislature about policy that could affect how all of this comes together for places like LSU and other schools in the state?
No, I have not, but I have identified kind of the issues and have a plan. And I've just, as you can imagine, I've just kind of gotten pulled into this quicker than I was planning on. Alexis deal, and I was kind of watching my time and figuring out the next deal, and it kind of picked up some steam, and you could see what was happening and figured, well, someone needs to get off the sidelines, as I mentioned, and kind of put myself out there and then started making calls. And like I said, spoke to some other prominent businessmen who feel just the same. Yeah, we need to do something. And it's also to benefit their business. And some people want to do it just gratuitously, just to help a program.
Well, man, you'll really put it out there now, man. If you were trying to ease up, Eddie, this ain't going to help you, brother.
Oh, I know. My wife just looks at me sometimes and goes, really, like you don't have enough to do already.
Well, hey, look, man, you pick your battles in life, man, and this is one that many are going to support. Last thing, ballpark, how many businesses, business owners do you think you've spoken with that have expressed interest?
Just in the last couple of days, and these are pretty sizable. I liken it kind of to if you're doing a fundraising for a political race, you go and you try to talk to some donors or supporters who you think may give bigger dollars, and you kind of start working down, and of course people start reaching out. But 10 to 15 that I feel pretty good about in terms of bigger dollars. I want to start there with that base and then work out. But that's important that the LSU community, the faithful and the athletes there and everyone else know that we're not going to sit on the sidelines. We're not going to sit back and let kids get poached. And, we're going to make it attractive for kids to want to be at LSU and for kids to stay at LSU just by what we put out there as opportunities.
So for the many, many business owners that are now going to reach out to you, what's the best? What's the best? Have you got like getnil.com yet or something? NILSU.com, something like that? What's the best way? I
like how you're thinking. I was actually the morning while exercising thinking of different web addresses for it.
Marketing minds, man.
I like that. I do.
But seriously, is there a way that you would want people to reach out to you?
I mean, right now, just you can email me. My email, Gordon@getgordon.com, or just call the numbers. You might have seen them on a billboard or two around the state, and you'll find your way to me.
He's got a Twitter as well, as I found out.
That's right. That's right.
He's at Gordon McKernan. I appreciate a couple of minutes. Thank you for being generous with your time, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
And real quick, Matt, I want to tell you that how much I respect your dad. I had the opportunity to hire him years ago. You probably don't even know anything about it, but what a class act and a great man, a great lawyer. It really came to my defense and help on something. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Very cool, man. I appreciate you sincerely for saying that. Thank you.
Okay. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
All
that is Gordon McKernan. Again, he's on Twitter at GetGordon. I do want to follow up. We went long there, and I'm very grateful for his time. It's a busy guy. Obviously, it's the holidays. But I want to follow up on there's a lot of meat on the bone there, and I have some thoughts. I'll get to it when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001. 752-0001, 752-0001. We were in the 30s the last two nights, so you turned on your heater at home, no doubt. When was the last time you had it serviced? When was the last time you had your home central heater cleaned? When was the last time you had it checked for safety? Man, if you don't know the answer to that question, you got to call River City's 1 Hour Air. You see them all over town. Big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. They've been servicing the greater Baton Rouge area for 40 years. That's why when you go read Google reviews and Facebook reviews, you'll see more than double the amount of 5-star reviews for River City's 1 Hour than any other competitor because they've been doing it for 40 years. You don't stay in business for that long if you're doing something wrong. River City's 1 Hour Air. Pre-season heater safety check. Get it done. 752-0001.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. Everything keeps changing. I'm sure glad you're here.
There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID tests. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Art. Dad. Thanks for being here. The little lights are not twinkling. I know, Art, and thanks for noticing.
I'm watching it tonight. Thanks to Gordon McKernan for joining us. I might Triplett 1 hour from right now. Man, I haven't even gotten yet to LSU basketball. And not even so much the game. That's not even of great significance. It was Will Wade's rant after, which was magnificent. We'll get to that. All right, so thanks to Gordon McKernan for joining us. And I want to react to that because there's a lot of meat on the bone there. And I want, sometimes hearing the same message said a different way from a different voice just registers different. Like sometimes that's just what clicks. And it's why I didn't want to just talk about Gordon getting involved. It's why I wanted you to hear his voice on the show. Understand, and it's also why I set up the conversation with tell me your family's history with LSU so you can understand from where it is that he's coming. Okay, that's a guy that loves LSU, walked onto the I didn't even know he walked onto the basketball team, but we know his son was a walk-on on the football team. His wife's father played football at LSU. I mean, deeply ingrained in LSU culture, like you and I are. Like so many of us, like so many of you listening, I mean, have the same story in whatever version of Gordon's or mine, which is, man, when I was a kid, born in New Orleans, grew up Saturday mornings, we'd wake up, Dad would drive us up to New Orleans, to Baton Rouge from New Orleans. We tailgate on the old front nine of the golf course. We go to the games and sit in the northeast corner of the end zone. Like, you all have your stories. We all do. I mean, it's part of the culture here, and he's part of it as well, and he wants LSU to win, like we all do. But you heard him say it flatly, like you may not have proof of something, but LSU in Louisiana, athletes are getting poached, and they are because of NIL. LSU administrators, people associated with LSU, cannot formally organize any type of NIL or enticements. LSU can't formally do that. LSU can't put in place these groups and structures. You need business owners to organize. You need the people that are going to be committing those dollars to organize and to allocate, and then student athletes sometimes can be pointed in the right direction. Like, maybe you should talk to this guy. It's sort of a way of, I don't want to say skirting, or sort of towing that line, but it's the nature of how things are going to be done. I mean, I have told you, and I'm not comfortable naming names or anything of the sort, but I have been told firsthand of six-figure enticements in recruiting for players in the state of Louisiana to go to their schools. I have been told firsthand by coaches who have told me that what their quote-unquote NIL, not at LSU, by the way, what their quote-unquote NIL budget is annually when they recruit. A lot of these, like, let's not kid ourselves. Coaches are going to find ways to use the system and to stretch it as far as they can. Forever and ever and ever, there has always been recruits and players that getting paid. Forever and ever. I mean, someone asked me last week about the 1908 LSU championship, why LSU doesn't recognize it. Well, back in 1908, the reason LSU wasn't initially declared the champion was because there was accusations of professionalism, of athletes getting paid. 1908. I mean, it's not just SMU or Reggie Bush. This has been going on literally forever. So let's not be naive and pretend it doesn't happen. But for LSU, yes, there are prominent business people that support LSU, that have money, that are willing to play this game, this NIL game, for lack of better phrasing, so that it benefits LSU and it benefits their business as well. No question. I've been asked this a bunch where people say, well, LSU started so strong. Remember they did the NILSU thing and they had the billboard in Times Square. And yes, they did all of that. But if you remember when NIL was launching, there were a lot of schools and a lot of coaches that pushed back against the idea of NIL. Well, LSU said, we're not going to do that. We're going to open our arms. We are open for business. We support your right as a student athlete to make money on your name, image, and likeness. That's what LSU did. They opened their arms to the deals, but there was no coordination of deals. And that was the problem. In a very short amount of time that we've seen, there have been some that have gotten deals. You've seen Raising Cane's and Walk-Ons and Smoothie King, and you've seen some others. I mean, hell, I'm a board member for GameCoin. Some of the first deals that Matchpoint ever did, that's how I learned about GameCoin, was GameCoin was matching with Keishon Butte and Miles Brennan and Jay Ward and Ty Davis Price. I'm like, what is GameCoin? That's how I learned about it, was through NIL opportunities. So there's some out there, for sure, but not to the level that it is happening at Texas A&M. The $150,000 for the offensive lineman at Texas. What's going on at Alabama right now? Y'all, be real with y'all, man. There is no reason at all, none, that Shaz Preston, that Kendrick Law, that those kids should be at LSU right now. No reason at all. But the reason they're not at LSU is a very obvious one. There's nobody in the history of this game that's played the game better to his benefit than Nick Saban, ever. Nick gets what he wants. He's very smart about it. LSU businesses, yeah, you heard Gordon McKernan say it. 10 to 15 business owners. And he said, we're talking about larger businesses within the state that are collectively pledging north of 7 figures. Okay. There's a lot of details that need to be worked out. How many more businesses? Is that 7 figures just for the first year? Is that annually? How much is it going to take to get the higher named athletes? Is it just football? Is it all sport? A lot of that has to be worked out. No question. But it has to be worked out. Because if you don't, then you are essentially punting one of the most significant potential advantages that any school could have in the history of intercollegiate athletics, like we've seen right now. I mean, LSU put out the really great hype video with Sha'Carri Richardson and with Alex Bregman and Odell Beckham and all the athletes that have made a ton of, and Shaq. Yeah, man. LSU put out the great billboard and all that stuff. How we promote, yes. But you didn't connect the dots. And that's what's got to happen. And that's what hopefully is starting to happen now, thanks to Gordon and what we hope will be many other business owners that are going to get involved and start to make these deals happen. A lot of these kids want to play at LSU, especially Louisiana kids. I mean, there's one in Ponchatoula right now that was committed to LSU, he's a 5-star, and decommitted after he went on an elite camp and talked to other 5-stars. Why do you think that happened? Let's be real, y'all. Come on, let's have a real adult, very honest conversation, okay? LSU's got to get going. And LSU administrators can't do it. They can't be the ones to do it. So you need someone like Gordon who's willing to step up and take the lead and organize so you don't continue to see this happen. Look, man, there's a lot of kids that are going to play for LSU just because they want to play for LSU. Walker Howard want to play for LSU. Will Campbell want to play for LSU. There's a lot. Tyge Hill just want to play for LSU. Want to be in Louisiana. A lot of them are like that. A lot of kids are like that. Not all of them are. And for the ones that aren't, sometimes you need a supplement, and this is a way to do it with enticements. And thankfully now it's starting to head that way. Because if you are sitting there naive enough to believe that all the kids from this state that didn't sign with LSU last week did so just because they were aching to go put on that crimson and white, you're kidding yourself. Now, the time frame, 90, 120 days, a lot less time before the February signing date. See what they can get done. All right, I do appreciate Gordon for his time. We'll knock out a break. Man, I got a lot I want to get to. All right, let me talk some LSU basketball. We're going a little out of order from the rundown, but I haven't gotten to basketball yet, so we'll do that when we come back next. LSU blows out Lipscomb. They move to 12-0, and Will Wade's still not happy. We'll talk about it when we return on AFR.
AFR.
All right, this is my last opportunity of 2021 to remind you about the Baton Rouge General and the Healthy Men Project. brgeneral.org/healthymen. brgeneral.org/healthymen. I'm off. We're off tomorrow for Christmas Eve, and then I'm off all next week. So when we're back together, it'll be 2022, and the Healthy Men Project will have kicked off. If you haven't done so yet, go to the website, brgeneral.org/healthymen, brgeneral.org/healthymen. It's totally free to join. Essentially, what the Healthy Men Project does, it's designed to help you set health and fitness goals for yourself and to keep you accountable and incentivize you to remain accountable. We all want to live healthier lives, live longer, healthier lives, and the Healthy Men Project is aimed to do that. brgeneral.org/healthymen.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they are the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
During these challenging times,
We know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Do you hear it? It's a funny squeaky sound.
You couldn't hear a dump truck driving through a nitroglycerin plant.
I hear it too. Oh, man. It's after further review. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. We'll take the day off for Christmas Eve, and I'll be out all of next week as well. So my last show of 2021. Thanks for being here. Thanks for to everyone who does listen or watch, for the blessing you are to me and to us and to everybody who's a part of the show. We appreciate all of you for being here for every little bit of part of your day where you can be. LSU basketball, they get a win over Lipscomb, 95-60. Will Wade, after the game, here he was on his team's latest blowout victory.
We won. We're 12-0. We get a lot better heading the SEC. Turned it over 10 times in the second half. Gave up 9 points, 3 threes in the last 4 minutes to get to 60. But I like the way we moved the ball. 6 guys in double figures. Would have had 7 with Fudge. He was right there. So that was a positive. 20 assists. That was a positive.
You know, it's funny. A lot of you love this side of Will Wade, right? Where you win by 35, you're 12-0, you're ranked 17th, one of the best defensive teams in the country. As you mentioned, 6 guys in double figures. But he's still not happy. Which I'll crap on Nick Saban for doing the exact same thing, but I get it because he coaches them, and this is your guy. But it's the same premise. It is the same premise. He's refusing to allow his team to become complacent amid their success. And you love it because you want to constantly keep getting better. At 12-0 right now, it's amazing. As good as they are defensively, it's been so fun to watch. But they're nowhere near what the goal is and for what the potential that this team can reach if they continue to work on it, continue to improve throughout the course of the season. Look, here's the thing about this LSU team. They're not a good shooting team. Okay, they're not. Percentages matter in volume sports. Percentages matter in baseball because whenever you have 1,000 at-bats, you can't look at a small sample size of one game where you go 4 for 4 with 2 homers and go, man, greatest hitter ever. Well, no, let's look at it over 162, right? So it's similar in basketball with shooting percentages. At some point, there's a large enough sample to where you are what you are. There's one-offs where you could have really good days. And last night was one of those games where LSU shot the lights out of the basketball. LSU shot 53% from the floor, and they were 54% from 3. LSU was 54% from three. The way that this team plays defense, on nights where they go 54.5% from three, they're going to eviscerate teams because they're that good defensively. Last night was one of those games. But LSU, through 12 games, is 90th in the country in field goal percentage at 46% and 241st in the country in three-point percentage at 32%. This is not a good shooting team. They're not, at no point this year will they be a good shooting team. They don't have good shooters, period. Will there be days where goes 5 of 8 from three? Yup, happened last night. Where he goes 7 of 8, whatever it was, like in the season opener? Yup, those will happen. And when they do, LSU will annihilate whoever they're playing. More often than not, though, they're going to hit their average. 46% from the floor, 32% from three. They'll score in the low 70s, and they're going to keep teams in the 50s or low 60s and win. More often than not. But Lipscomb didn't solve LSU didn't solve their shooting woes against Lipscomb. It was a one-off. It was a hot night. It happened. And those are going to happen. It's not the last time it's going to happen this year. It's just what happened last night. But I asked John Brady when he was on the show with us yesterday, if you're Will Wade and your team's 11-0 and you're a 27.5-point underdog or favorite, what do you tell your team? He goes, man, I'm just looking to pick a fight. And and he was careful, obviously, of how he used it. He said, just looking to pick a fight with this team to get them motivated, to light the fire, to keep them inspired. And they came out on a torrid pace. Days hit his first three-pointer. LSU never looked back. Okay, they blow Lipscomb off the floor, and that's not a very good team to begin with. But after the game, Will Wade, who was obviously in a mood, talking about the turnovers, was asked, was there anything that you did? Like, here's how it looked last night sounded when Will Wade was asked that in the postgame.
You come in and you're just not satisfied. What would make you happy?
Was to play the right way, not turn the ball over 10 times in the second half. I was actually pretty happy with the first half. And we come in and we got guys we not doing, just not good. Here's the thing. Everybody gets excited because we did that. That's not working next Wednesday at Auburn in that environment. We go down there and cough the ball up like that, the roof's caving in. They'll be hanging from the rafters up there. It's the toughest environment in our league. We go in there and do that stuff. See, I can see down the road. I don't just live in the present. I live for what's fixing to happen. Some of that cute stuff we do, Jabari Smith's pinning it, Walker Kessler pinning it on the backboard. It's the facts. Some people don't like facts, but that's the facts.
I know what you mean, Will. Some people don't like when I spit facts, too. I hear it all the time from those of you. But he's right. Auburn Arena is a buzzsaw. That new arena, they pack it out. They've moved everybody closer to the floor. Bruce Pearl in. They play an exciting brand of basketball. They're going to be nuts and bonkers. And an undefeated LSU team coming in will have their undivided attention. And he's right. You turn it over 20 times, you are going to get pasted in that building on Wednesday. You will. So he's got to say it. You can't go sit there in the press conference after blowing a team out by 35, feeling fat and happy because you beat them by 35. You got to nitpick. A couple weeks ago, Will said something similar. I brought back a cut from Nick Saban when they beat a team by 45, and he was talking about penalties on special teams, right? Remember that? Nick railed in the postgame about how upset he was that they had a couple of penalties on special teams. They won by 45, but you had to find something to remind your team you can always improve. Because if you do those things against better teams, the result's going to be different. And that's what Will is trying to convey to his team because he knows how special this team can be. He knows this team can be a Final Four team. Look at them. And this is without Adam Miller. John Rothstein tweeted it last night. It's like things I never thought I'd tweet. LSU 12-0 without Adam Miller. Y'all, Adam Miller, I've told you this a bajillion times. Will said it on the show in the summer. Adam Miller was coming here to be a scorer. He wasn't that at Illinois a year ago because of the style they played. He came here to be able to score because Will was going to let him, and he needed a scorer with Cam gone. You're doing this right now without the guy that was going to be your best scorer on this team. It's amazing. It shows you how much depth and talent they have. And at some point, they're going to get Sharif back. I'm not telling you that's going to be the unlock to the greatest season ever, but you get another dude that's 6'10", that's committed to rebounding, defending, and more length, another body, fresh legs off the bench? Hell yeah, man. If nothing else, give me a dude at 6'10 with 5 fouls to give. Okay. You're going to get better? So, and no doubt, man, I love it. I love the approach. I love the message. It's all the things that great coaches do to avoid complacency amid success. And Will Wade's doing it right now with his team. And I don't know that it's going to help on Wednesday. They're going to be, I don't know if there's a line on it yet, but they're going to be an underdog against Auburn on the road. And they should be. Auburn's a really good team. That's a tough place to play. And keep in mind that none of these guys that have been in college for 2 years have ever played in a true road environment. There were no fans last year. None of these guys that are freshmen or sophomores have ever played in a true road SEC game with 10,000 people cheering against you. They're going to on Wednesday. See how they react to it. But they're 12-0, man. It was 5 of the teams in college basketball that are undefeated right now. Arizona lost last night at Tennessee. Arkansas lost to Hofstra. Florida lost to a SWAC school. It happens, man. You're not supposed to win all of the games you play. It's just the way that this thing goes, man. Georgia lost to East Tennessee State. I mean, Auburn's only losses to UConn. UConn's a pretty good team this year, but still, you're not supposed to win them all. And LSU's won them all right now. Real quick, can you play number 3, Muse? Will Wade did update Tari Eason, who did not play last night.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
What is it if you can?
It's his back. So.
Practice?
Huh?
Do it in practice?
No, he did it before the Louisiana Tech game. He did it in warm-ups, I guess, against Louisiana Tech. So that was what he told us. But we'll see. I mean, we're not going to obviously do anything to endanger him. But we had to he was limited the last couple of days in practice. And we thought he was going to give it a go today, but he couldn't do it. About a couple hours before the game, he just said he couldn't do it.
It's all good, man. Give him another week. All right. It's after further review. Tigers open up conference play on Wednesday at Auburn. We're brought to you by our friends at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Dr. Blake Williamson and the crew, they do amazing work. Maybe your New Year's resolution for 2022 should be to give yourself the gift of sight, to throw away those contacts and glasses forever. Call the Williamson Eye Center. They can help. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com, WilliamsonEYE.com. Okay, Muso is going to have Tigers in the Pros when we wrap up hour number 2 next. Coming up in 13 minutes, we'll have our first drawing for Courtside for Charity. We'll be drawing for the Pelicans-Cavs tickets, floor seats, courtesy of Gulf Coast Office Products. You have 13 minutes to buy a ticket if you want to get in the raffle for the first game that we're drawing for. You got 13 minutes. Go to 1045ESPN.com, hit the Courtside for Charity tab, and you can enter. You got 13 minutes before we draw for the first game. All right, Tigers in the Pros next.
AFR.
Hey, we are heading toward the new year, and maybe part of your New Year's resolution, I'm probably going to say this for everybody then, is to get better coverage for less money. Take care of your insurance. So many of us learned the hard way with Hurricane Ida about our insurance provider, what type of coverage we had, who our agent was, how responsive they were. Were they willing to actually pay out your claim? Were they working for you or against you? If you're not satisfied, you need to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. They shop independently to see if they can get you better coverage than you presently have at a lower price. And I'm not talking about cut rate insurance. They search dozens of the top-rated companies in the world. So call. It is free to have them shop for you. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I don't know if I ought to go sailing down no hill with nothing between the ground and my brain and a piece of government plastic.
You really think it matters, Eddie?
Well, see, the plate runs right underneath my part here. And over here, it's, nothing. But here, if this gets dented, then my hair just ain't gonna look right.
This ain't gonna look right. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Pro Bowl announcements. They're official. 3 former Tigers selected. Some familiar names, too. Start with Justin Jefferson, his second Pro Bowl selection. Also made it last year as a rookie, so 2 straight in as many years for Jets. So far this year, 89 receptions, 1,335 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Tyrann Mathieu from the Kansas City Chiefs. It's his 3rd Pro Bowl, 2015, 2020, and now 2021. Second on the Chiefs with 65 tackles, 2 of those for a loss, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries for the Honey Badger. And last but not least, Jamar Chase as a rookie, first Pro Bowl, 61 receptions, 1,038 yards, and 10 touchdowns in his rookie year with the Bengals. Thursday Night Football tonight. Arden Key out there for the 49ers. Looking for the Titans. Keep an eye out for Christian Fulton and Racey McMath. And then finally, NBA G League action from last night. Emmett Williams and the Agua Caliente Clippers. They were victorious. Emmett, 36 minutes in a starting role. Took 4 shots and missed them all. So he didn't have any points. But He did have 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. Got into a little bit of foul trouble with 4 personals. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. A gentleman, it's 4:54 on Christmas Eve. If you have not gotten that gift for her yet, the red box is not far away. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, Mall of Louisiana, Bocage, and, of course, locations in New Orleans, Shreveport, Lafayette. Thrill her with a gift in the little red box. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry has been an amazing part of our communities for 40 years now. LMFJ.com to learn more. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it is after further review. Coming up right after the top of the hour, we will have our first drawing for Courtside for Charity. I've been telling you about it for several weeks now. 4 games in all. If you bought a ticket for early, you are entered to win for each of the 4 games, I should say. We are going to draw for the first game right after the top of the hour. Glad you're aboard with us here. Thursday AFR. Stick around. Hour number 3 is next.
AFR.
Boy, I have the best possible endorsement for South Point Volkswagen. Earlier this week, I was involved in a car wreck. Many of you may know that. I was on the bridge, got slammed from behind. Guy never stopped. His full-size truck is totaled. My Volkswagen Atlas is not. I tell you all the time, 9 IIHS top safety picks. It's the highest safety designation that you could possibly have for a vehicle. Volkswagen has 9 of them. You get the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great cost, and the peace of mind knowing that you and your family, when you're in a Volkswagen, you're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. I've known that for a long time now, and it was reinforced when I got hit earlier this week. Shop online at southpointvw.com. New, certified, pre-owned, in Baton Rouge or online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. Don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
I'm Doug Brown. Week 16 kicks off tonight in the NFL. The 49ers and Titans in Nashville. San Francisco has won 5 of its last 6 games, but ESPN's Nick Wagoner believes this one will be a challenge.
This is a tough matchup in general, but it's certainly tough when you have a short week coming off of a game on Sunday, playing on Thursday night, and having to travel a couple of time zones away, which is pretty rare for Thursday night games. Usually the road team doesn't have to go this far.
Nick Wagoner on KJ and Max. Tennessee has lost 3 of its last 4. ESPN has learned Titans wideout A.J. Brown should be activated for the game. He's coming back from a chest injury. Washington quarterback Taylor Heineke clears COVID-19 protocols. He practiced today. He's expected to start against the Cowboys on Sunday. Rutgers replaces Texas A&M and will play Wake Forest in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl next Friday in Jacksonville. It'll be the Scarlet Knights' first bowl game since 2014. And ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the NBA and the players are close to a deal on reducing the quarantine period after positive tests.
It's Keith from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, hoping you're spending as much time with your wonderful family as possible. When the calendar turns to 2022, we'll be right here talking about the NFL playoff picture. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. Let's ride.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Although I am going to assume that many of you are already home and maybe you've already started your weekend or maybe you're doing some last-minute shopping. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here. Mike Triplett will be with us in less than 15 minutes from right now. If you've not heard, the gigantic news of the day is that the New Orleans Saints have added 9 players to their COVID list. And among the 9 are starting safety Malcolm Jenkins, and maybe even more prominently, both Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian, which means that Ian Book is very likely in line to make his first career start. Now, typically you have 2 active quarterbacks on game day, and the Saints only got 1. The emergency quarterback, as we're told, would be Alvin Kamara. But between now and Monday, the Saints got to bring in another quarterback. Someone, somehow, some way, somewhere, somebody else has to be added to this roster as a potential backup quarterback. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll talk about that with Mike Triplett less than 15 minutes from right now. We good? Are we good? Okay. All right. We've been telling you for several weeks now that our friends over at Gulf Coast Office Products have very generously, as the official office equipment provider of the New Orleans Pelicans, offered up their courtside seats for 4 Pelicans games for charity. And they selected 4 charities, which at the end of the raffles, the proceeds raised will be divided evenly among the 4 and given to these 4 organizations. They are St. Lillian Academy, which is a special needs school in Baton Rouge. Candidly, it's where my son attends. The Arc of Baton Rouge, the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, and Alzheimer's Services of the capital area. Trey Beal and the Gulf Coast Office Products folks are the ones that selected those 4 charities. So when you buy a ticket, which is $20 per raffle chance, every ticket that you purchase is in the raffle for all of the games. So if you bought your ticket before right now, you were entered for the Cavs, the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Rockets. Even now we've drawn for Cleveland, but I'll announce the winner in a second. The next game is Jan 6 against Golden State. Floor seats to see Steph Curry and the Warriors. $20 a chance. You can get 6 for $100 or 15 for $250. And remember, all the money raised is going to those great charities. So this is going to be a 6-week promotion that we're doing, giving away these tickets and raffling them off and raising a lot of money. We appreciate everybody for being a part of it. But we wanted to make sure we announced the first game. We drew for the first game before Christmas in case if whoever the winner was wanted to give these tickets as a gift, they had that opportunity. And during the break, we did conduct the first raffle, chosen completely randomly by a randomizer on Raffle Creator. And the winner that the computer spit out was Daniel Wright. Congratulations to Daniel Wright. You are going to see the Pelicans and the Cavaliers December the 28th, courtside, a chair on the floor, center court, watching the Pels and the Cavs. Congrats. I'm telling you, there is just nothing like it. There is nothing like watching a live NBA game on the floor. There's just nothing in sports like it. The size, the speed, the agility, the amenities as well associated with that. You have free food when you go into the little club area. It's sensational. I'm pumped for Daniel Wright. We'll be in touch to let you know how you can get your tickets. But if you didn't win, no worries. If you've already bought a ticket, you are already entered for the other raffle drawings. And if you have not bought a ticket yet, you can still buy it anytime to be in for the next raffle drawing. So we'll look forward to that. Again, the next game is Jan 6 against Golden State. Do not miss the opportunity to see Steph Curry on the floor. It's $20. And even if you don't win, you're helping great charity. So we appreciate Gulf Coast Office Products. Put up the tickets, and all of you who have participated. It's a lot of fun. We're going to raise a lot of money for some great organizations. All right, it's After Further Review. We appreciate you for being here with us. You're always welcome to join us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. You can text us in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400. Forgive me. Went a little out of order earlier because we got new chairs, and I'm a little pumped about the new chairs. One thing that I wanted to get to that I skipped earlier, one of the big stories yesterday was how college football has had to adjust because of the COVID positive tests. Texas A&M will not play in the Gator Bowl. College football playoff has put out new guidelines with respect to COVID, and if there are cancellations, how it would all play out. Well, we now know the Oversight Committee is going to use the APR as the determining factor for the replacement team for Texas A&M in the Gator Bowl, because Wake Forest wants to play. Well, the next team in the APR available is Rutgers. Rutgers apparently has communicated that they do plan to accept the bowl invitation. They are beginning to reassemble their team to play in the Gator Bowl on New Year's Eve. So that appears to happen. One bit of feedback I've gotten a lot over the last 24 hours, and really this has been happening because of guys opting out of bowls and these cancellations and teams not playing, etc. I've gotten a lot of feedback, in particular in the last 24 hours, people saying this is going to be the death of the bowls. Not exactly. And I want to clarify why. You got to keep in mind that the bowls exist to make money. That's why they exist. That's why they keep putting up more bowl games. That's why they're organizing 42 bowl games. If these were a financially losing proposition, you wouldn't see more of them. That's why you keep seeing more. The way that the bowl organizers make money, TV deal, title sponsor, ticket sales. And you may think to yourself, well, if guys keep opting out, why would a TV? Networks need content. Period. Networks need 24 hours of content a day. And the most valuable content, the only thing that really people watch live anymore is live sports. And when you have an opportunity to fill up a giant block of your day's programming with live sports, you do it. Like, do you think Tuesday night Maction does gangbuster ratings? Why is it on? Because it's live sports. And live sports will always have a home with the networks. So if they created 100 bowl games, if it's ESPN or Fox or CBS Sports or whatever, it's going to find a home on TV. That's one. The other is sponsor dollars, by having a title sponsor associated with that bowl game. And you might say to yourself, well, if all these opt-outs and fans don't show up, and why would a business sponsor? Why are businesses sponsoring bowl games right now that have 1,000 people in the stands? Because it's not necessarily for the sponsor just about the 3 hours that the game's on TV. It's about the whole year and the season-long build-up to Bowl Mania and all the promotion that you get for being the Frisco Football Classic presented by Ryan. All year long, when everybody does their bowl pick'em contests and you talk about your bowl projections, and it's the title sponsor is associated every time the bowl games are mentioned on local radio or on national print or national TV or anything. That's the promotional value for being a bowl sponsor, not just the 3 hours that the game is on TV. And then, yes, ticket sales. And for some of these lesser bowls, there's no question. Matchups stink and the ticket sales aren't good. It's why the SEC has done what they've done. They've organized matchups to try to generate more interest. It's why Tennessee's playing in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. It's why Mississippi State is playing in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. It's why LSU's playing in the Texas Bowl, where there's a gigantic LSU alumni base in Houston. It's why Florida's playing in the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. Easy drive for Florida. It's why they arranged this now to try to generate more ticket sales, better matchups, proximity, fans can travel, etc. Bowl games aren't dying. They're not going to be as appealing. That's why you're seeing players opt out and fans choose not to go. But they're not dying. They're still a revenue generator for all the reasons we just laid out. As long as someone's going to put them on TV, which they will, and as long as people want to sponsor them, which they will, you're going to keep seeing bowl games and more of them. The bowl system and structure isn't dying. It's just not as meaningful as it once was, and that's not going to change. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break. Mike Triplett will join us next. I want to talk about the Saints. The Ian Book era. It's upon us. We'll roll. It's AFR.
AFR.
Need dinner plans tonight? Ichiban, always a great option. Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi, best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Dine in, carry out delivery. What a night. Pels play tonight. You got Thursday night football. You got Florida playing in a bowl game in about 45 minutes from right now. I mean, go eat at Ichiban. All-weather patio dining. Flat screen TVs outside and behind the bar. Or get your order to go. You can order it online, pay for it online, pull up, call the number. They'll bring it out to you, curbside to go every night at Ichiban. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Boru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Authentic Japanese ramen. There's a lot of places that say they do ramen now. It ain't like this. This is authentic Japanese ramen. This is Patrick Wong going to New York and Japan to train under the top ramen chefs in the world. This is every single noodle handmade on premise at Boru. It's authentic Japanese ramen. It's Boru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy. Step up your seltzer game.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings? Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark.
The Surface isn't working. I'm unplugging it. Oh, there it worked. I found it, Paulie. Found the magical unlock. How about that? You like them apples? I've had to do a lot of jobs here, I've learned. I've even learned how to engineer the studio at times when need be. All right. We appreciate you for being with us. Final hour here before we head into the Christmas holiday. Hope you and yours are going to have just a awesome season and awesome holiday and great time together. The Saints are going to play on Monday Night Football, and very likely we're going to see the advent of the Ian Book era. Mike Triplett, ESPN.com, good enough to join us as he does each week. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing well, but I got to I apologize. I don't watch on video. I should watch on video, so I'm in the mood completely. But did you just have me on by saying your Surface wasn't working, like as in Surface tablet?
Yes. Well, it's actually we used to.
And this was not a Tom Brady bit. Like I thought this was like an intro bit. You had pre-recorded. I was like, oh, they got a good Surface tablet. Oh, the Surface tablet's not working. Now he's gonna throw it. And This is just a wasted opportunity by you. If you need any comedy tips, I'm right here.
Actually, you've come up with quite a few of those over the years there, Mikey T. I'll tell you, I wasn't thinking that because primarily we've been in this studio since 2017, and this has been such a common and recurring problem that it's always front and center in my mind that any other associated thing with it I just kind of ignore because this is so common. So that's why that one I just completely missed that one. So I apologize. Big potential comedic opportunity fail on my part. So I'll do better. Maybe. My New Year's resolution.
I also guess you're valuing the equipment a little more. You might not, like, things like Surface tablets might not be as disposable to you as there are some other people in the world. So.
Okay, that's fair.
I get it. I get it.
That is fair, but I also have been known, I've learned that I am an 8 on the Enneagram, and my default emotion is anger. So I do yell, and I've thrown this chair before. The guys in here have seen it. I probably wouldn't break the equipment. Maybe I would. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just move on. Lots of people have COVID, so let's move on. Okay. All right, Hill, Simeon, they've got COVID. Ian Book, he's going to start, yes, I would assume?
Well, he will start. It's four days till game day, and it's going around the quarterback room. So, knock on wood, he'll start. That's the best case scenario, I'd say.
Okay. Well, what are the other options if it's not Ian Book?
Well, I mean, I would think we just saw the blueprint. You know, if Ian Book gets injured or gets COVID, I mean, he's the guy for sure. I mean, they're not going to consider anything else. Even if Drew Brees wanted to come back, he's in Hawaii right now. It'd take a long time to get back. So, I think it's Ian Book. Unless he is injured or has COVID, the next most likely scenario, I think, would be what we just saw the Washington football team do, which is they went and found a guy who was on another team's practice squad. And I actually would not be surprised to see the Saints do that, to have a backup in place, too, because that makes so much sense because it's a guy who's been playing, been practicing, in shape, been in the testing protocol, all that. I have not scoured the team's practice squads to see who is a realistic option for that. But otherwise, a quarterback who's been on the workout circuit, a quarterback who's been working out for teams, hopefully a quarterback who was at camp this summer, something like that. Somebody who wouldn't be completely out of his element. And then I know Jeff Duncan pointed out that the receiver they have on the practice squad, Malcolm Perry, played quarterback in college. Reeks of Kendall Hinton with the Broncos last year. That did not go well. And then obviously Alvin Kamara, not only, the Broncos last year, they were just direct snapping to their running backs. It wasn't completely traditional wildcat, but, just get the ball in the hands of their running backs. And we know they've experimented with that possibility with Alvin Kamara because he had talked in the past about wearing having a helmet available in case he had to go into a game that has a communication device from the offense. So there is an emergency possibility that exists where Alvin Kamara would be the guy.
Okay. This is just it's unbelievable. What would be a realistic expectation for Ian Book, especially by comparison where we saw Garrett Gilbert plucked away from a practice squad and then just starting for Washington, not knowing any of their scheme, personnel, anything.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's better than that. Look, Ian Book was a fourth-round draft pick. I mean, a lot of fourth-round draft picks played for their teams when they have everybody as an option. I mean, was Davis Mills a third-round pick for the Houston Texans? And he's been their main quarterback this year. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to have Ian Book start a game. Now, obviously, your expectations would be, that it'd be a work in progress. And, but look, we've seen Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill and an injured Taysom Hill at that. I mean, I hate to say there wouldn't be a huge drop-off, but, I mean, it's not like they're going from a top 5 quarterback to somebody outside of the top 50. They're probably going from, the 30th best quarterback in the league to, the 45th best quarterback in the league. It's not a huge drop-off. I think the biggest difference, though, would be, they won last week against Tampa Bay because of their defense, but they also didn't turn the ball over. you need to make sure that Ian Book is going to be able to handle himself and not have 3 turnovers in his starting debut.
It's funny, Mike. We talked about this earlier in the show. He only played one half of the first preseason game because the Saints only played 2 preseason games this year. So we didn't even really get a large sample size of him in the preseason. It's just such a wild thing. Now, let's look at the rest of that COVID report. The 9 players that are out. Which is most significant here aside from the quarterbacks?
Well, only one other starter on that list, and that's Malcolm Jenkins. Obviously significant, but that is a position where they have depth. Well, I shouldn't say that. Jeff Heath is on the list as well. But, P.J. Williams plays safety. C.J. Gardner-Johnson could play a traditional safety. Malcolm Jenkins is somewhat replaceable in that regard, although he played really well the other night. I don't want to shortchange him. But the other one would be Jordan Mills at offensive tackle because Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk are still both on the injured list. And that's significant, period. I mean, I don't care if it's Simeon or Hill or Book starting. We've seen Simeon and Hill look their absolute worst when they did not have both Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk in the lineup. You'd really like to get one of those guys back in the lineup.
As you mentioned, neither practiced today on the first injury report. Can you give us any type of an update as far as their status? And just, I guess, whatever you know, Mike, to whatever extent you know their status.
Well, I mean, the one thing we do know is that neither guy was ever placed on injured reserve, and that would only sideline a guy for 3 weeks. So if they knew for a fact that somebody was going to be out a month, they would have put him on injured reserve. Now, with Teron Armstead, we have actually seen him come back in practice. We've seen him come back and play. We've continued to see him before COVID protocols kicked the media out this week. We've seen him in his uniform before stretch and then go off and leave and work with the trainers. So we know Teron Armstead is at least close and dealing with something, but obviously it's kept him off the field. Even after he came back and played 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago he missed the last game. Ramczyk, I don't fully know. I haven't gotten great information on that, but I know they originally were hopeful that he would be back in a matter of 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and now we're up to like 6 weeks. So I'm not sure if he suffered a setback. I'm not sure if it's lingered longer than possible, but I do imagine that if it was a situation like Michael Thomas, where it was like a known setback that was going to require surgery and keep him out for a month, they would have put him on IR. So that makes me think there is optimism he will play this season. And each week I keep wondering if we're going to see him back on the practice field, but obviously it's been a long time now.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, ESPN.com. Of course, you need to read his stuff, follow him on Twitter. So it's so weird, Mike. I mean, every conversation you and I have had every week this year has always started like this. All right, well, who's hurt? Who's available? Like, who's at COVID?
Yeah, who's missing?
Right. Exactly. I mean, exactly. So then 6-7 minutes into our conversation, then we actually start talking about the game that's going to be played this weekend. Given who they're missing, we've seen the point spread move significantly from Saints 3.5 to now Dolphins 1.5 as of right now on Thursday. How do the Saints match up in this game with Miami, considering their personnel losses?
Well, what's funny is I changed my prediction as well. I turned in a prediction of Saints. Oh, what was it? Like 20? I think it was like 23-22. Like I picked them to win by 1, and then we found out about the quarterbacks, and I changed it to like the Dolphins winning by 2, like 23-20 or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was enough for me to change my prediction. But in the grand scheme of things, I still think we're talking low 20s and we're talking a one-score game, depending on how things go. Because, like we said, when they had Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian last week, they scored 9 points. So the offense, it's not like I thought they were going to score 40 and now I don't. This is a team that's going to have to win because of its defense and its run game. And it's a team that's going to be much better off if one of the offensive tackles can play, which we still don't know. And so that does not wildly change with Taysom Hill or Ian Book at quarterback. But like I said, with Ian Book, he could potentially be rattled. He could potentially, have some, panic decisions that he has to make in his first start. It could turn into a sack fumble or an interception. And I think that risk goes up. But other than that, we're talking about a team that's going to have to win because of its defense and special teams, and a team that can do that. They just did it to Tom Brady and Tampa Bay in Tampa. That was the hottest offense in the league at home, and maybe the best quarterback in the league this year. So they can certainly stifle a Miami team that has not played great offense this year, and a quarterback who's been more solid than spectacular in Tua.
Is Sean Payton going to be back?
He should. I'm still not completely clear on the new COVID protocols for players that they installed last week. I think they just need one negative test to come back now if they're on the list. And I don't know how that applies to coaches. But regardless, 10 days would time you out under the old system. And I think they might have even shortened the 10 days to a smaller amount now. So just the calendar alone, I think, brings him back in time for the game. But obviously he has not been there for their first 2 full practice days of the week. Pete Carmichael said, they've been on the phone with Sean Payton. Obviously, he's been in some virtual meetings and things like that, so he's involved with the game planning. But for the most part, it's been Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael running the show during the week. It'll be kind of the exact opposite of how things went last week.
I know. All right. 2 more things. Number 1, Cam Jordan was awesome NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Do you feel, I discussed this earlier in the week, I just like your opinion. Do you have a feeling if that was a one-off, or if maybe that week off has sparked this resurgence in him?
I think, the answer is probably somewhere in between. I think what Cam Jordan is probably one of the best players in Saints history, and one of the best defensive players for sure, and one of the best defensive players in the NFL over the past decade. But he's also 32 years old or whatever he is, so he's it's the consistency and the highs and lows are going to be a little more drastic, and he's going to be more like 8 sacks a year instead of 15 sacks a year. But he's still capable of that type of performance at any given time, and he's still, his specialty is that, he's going to make you work on every snap because he's going to bull rush you with that size that he has, and he's going to be just as good against the run as he is against the pass. So, the 2-sack games are going to be a lot more few and far between. I don't think something clicked with him, and now this is what we're going to see for the rest of the year. But he's still definitely an asset on this team, and he's still capable of that on his best days.
Okay, last thing, playoffs. I don't know how deeply you've really delved into the NFC. My contention, looking at who everyone has plays, they got to win out. They got to be 10-7. Otherwise, I think they're going to lose a tiebreaker at 9-8 if they get there. What's your thought with 3 to go?
Well, I sort of agree with you. Winning out would help. But I think if they were to lose, this would be the game to lose because it's against an AFC team.
Good point.
And the tiebreakers would come down to, conference record. So the idea being these other 7-7 teams that they're in the mix with, Minnesota and Philadelphia, the Saints lose to Miami, those teams lose to an NFC team, and then when they're all 9-8, maybe the tiebreakers work out in their favor. So I actually did play around a little with the ESPN has this playoff machine, which is a lot of fun and really addicting. And you can choose criteria. You can pick, I want the team with the better record to win every game, or I want the home team to win every game. Or you can manually go in and say, I think this team's going to win this game. I think this team's going to win this game. And I think if you just pick everybody, wins the game if they have the better record or something like that. I think they did get in at 9-8 when I played around with it. But if I had them losing to Miami, but so much, you don't want to leave it up to that. Any one of those teams we're talking about. I think Philadelphia has a pretty easy schedule. I think the Niners look like they've got a good chance to be one of the wild card teams. Minnesota could get hot. 10-7 is a lot easier path than 9-8 and hoping for tiebreakers.
It is an amazing plug for the ESPN NFL Playoff Predictor. Go mess around with it at ESPN.com. Mike Triplett, do you love Christmas Vacation or have a favorite Christmas movie or anything like that?
Big Christmas Vacation fan. If Die Hard counts, Die Hard is my favorite. Okay. It's one of my favorite movies, period.
Okay.
I was very ashamed. I'm an Iowa alum, and there's a video going around the internet where they ask all the Big Ten coaches for their favorite Christmas movie, and it ends with Kirk Ferentz not being able to name one. And
any Christmas movie at all?
Yeah.
Oh.
The only thing was worse was there were like 3 coaches who named a Christmas Story, and that's really not a good movie. And I think they just had heard the name of the movie and hadn't actually seen it. So
Okay.
at least Kirk Ferentz is being honest.
Look at Mike Triplett here dropping bombs like Tom Brady throws around a Microsoft Surface.
Boom.
We call that
Boom.
tying
I'm
it
often
together.
compared to Tom Brady.
Yes. You have nice hair like Tom Brady.
Getting better with age, like Tom Brady.
Both of you have first names with fewer than 5 letters.
Yeah, it's true.
Mike and Tom. See that? There's a lot of the similarities are so obvious too. Merry Christmas, man. We appreciate the time as always. Here's hoping that we're not just talking about COVID and injuries next week, but my guess is we'll be. Well, you know what? We're not actually, because I'm off all next week. So if you do come on, you'll be talking to Musso and Mario, and you can talk to them about COVID and injuries. How about that?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get a little respite from it. But the way things are going right now, it's hard to imagine.
I know. Well, we appreciate the time, man. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
All right. Same to you. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it. This is Mike Triplett. This is After Further Review, brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. As mentioned, I am off next week. I'm actually going to go visit a few Hudco customers who requested Hudco hats. And who am I to disappoint? HudcoRoofing.com. We say it all the time, do business with someone you know. If you've I'm so disappointed in how many people have had to call us because they've said, I called another company and I couldn't get a call back. I called another company and they didn't want my business. Or this, man, we want your business. We want to work hard for you. HudcoRoofing.com. We want the opportunity to earn your business, commercial or residential. If you look up at our on our social media post here from the past few days, we did the roof over at All-Star Lanes on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. So if it's commercial, residential, shingle, metal, TPO, tile, slate, we got you. Hudco Roofing. If you had damage due to Ida, we can work with your insurance company to get your claim approved, to get you that new roof. Louisiana company, we use Louisiana shingles, CertainTeed shingles, manufactured at the CertainTeed plant in Shreveport, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, let me move quickly here. Golly, 2 segments to go. We got to move quickly. Maybe we'll just talk about Christmas and stuff. Is Otter doing a show? Yeah, okay, good. Of course. There's games upon which to be wagered.
I think Otter's doing a show tomorrow.
No.
I think he is. No. You can ask him when he comes on.
Surely you jest.
There's games tomorrow.
We will ask him in about 10 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Holidays are here, and so many of us will be spending time outside to get away from our family inside, because that is a grand tradition on the holidays. So why not upgrade your outside with Pinnacle Exterior Construction? You could build an outdoor kitchen. That's what Eric and I did here recently in this past 6 months. Pinnacle did a beautiful job with our kitchen. It's functional. We had Erica's whole family, their extended family party at our house this past weekend, and most people migrated outside for the outdoor kitchens. It's a great showplace. Maybe it's a custom pool, fences, decks, pergolas. Pinnacle Exterior Construction can do it all. They could take your boring backyard, turn it into a showplace, into your escape at home. PECbuilt.com to see pictures of their work. To learn more, PECbuilt.com is in Pinnacle Exterior Construction. PECbuilt.com, or call them 757-6138.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Corval Toyota is ending the year with our annual Toyotathon event. Come on down to Happy Town to pre-order your new Toyota today. We also have a large number of pre-owned vehicles on location. Come celebrate Toyotathon with us at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations, with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID tests. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Grizz, me and Bethany figured out the perfect gift for you.
Oh, Uncle Lewis, you didn't have to buy me anything.
Damn it, Bethany, he guessed it.
He's so good. He goes, careful, he's an old man. It could be his last Christmas. Keep this up, it will be his last Christmas.
I was trying to find, I couldn't find a clear enough version of that scene to put in there.
Hey, Grizz, you're not doing anything constructive. Run in the den and give me my stogie.
Everyone has an Uncle Lewis.
Is there anything else I can do for you, Uncle Lewis? Like while he's scooping up trash.
That Eddie's dog knocked over out of the garbage can.
Oh, God.
No.
I saw
Probably just nosing through the trash.
No.
No.
Maybe you wouldn't feed him from the table. No. Just nosing through the trash. I saw our guy J-Boy. Did you see this, Muse?
I don't think so.
Earlier today, J-Boy tweeted a graphic. I'm going to have to go find it. Gosh, dog it. Here it is. It's from BR_betting. I don't know what that is.
Bleacher Report's betting now. It's Bleacher Report's betting.
Okay.
Page.
It's Christmas movie MVP odds. Elf is the favorite, plus 125. Christmas Story, plus 175. Home Alone, plus 250. It's a Wonderful Life, plus 300. Dr. Seuss's The Grinch at plus 500. Nightmare Before Christmas, plus 550. Home Alone 2 also plus 550. Die Hard, plus 800. Mike Triplett will think that that's woefully underrated. Jingle All the Way, plus 900. Miracle on 34th Street, plus 1,000. Just Friends, I don't even know what that is, plus 1,100. And then Christmas Vacation, plus 1,250.
I mean, hammer the plus 1,250, right? I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't love Christmas Vacation.
I mean, Christmas Vacation isn't just my favorite Christmas movie. It's not just one of my favorite comedies. Like, it's one of my favorite movies, period. Movies. Bold _ like the short list of one of my favorite movies ever. I don't think I'm an outlier because it's always on this time of year.
Of course.
How in the world is Christmas Vacation on this list at plus 1250?
That betting page loses credibility on that. I mean, come on.
Brutal.
And Elf is great, but it should not be the favorite. I mean,
Agreed. So Cincinnati stinks. And I'm not just talking about the college football team. Cincinnati. Like the city of Cincinnati stinks too. You don't believe me? Then you're calling Joe Burrow a liar.
We're doing a great job with our COVID protocols. Fortunately, there's not a ton to do in Cincinnati, so it's not, nobody's going out to clubs and bars and getting COVID every weekend. But we've been healthy. We're doing a great job with our COVID protocols.
You know the best part of that?
What's that?
At the end of the bite, where he kind of laughs and he realizes he doesn't get the reciprocal laugh, and he kind of pauses and he's like, and takes a breath, and you realize, I think in that moment it clicked in his brain like, oh no, that's going to be bad, isn't it?
A ton to do in Cincinnati, so it's not, nobody's going out to clubs and bars and getting COVID every weekend. But we've been healthy. We're doing a great job with our COVID
the double
protocols.
blink,
Is he wrong, though?
No, he's 100% right.
Oh, there you go.
He's absolutely right. As a matter of fact, the city of Cincinnati, kind of agrees. In the past decade, the area between Paul Brown Stadium and Great American Ballpark, which is known as the Banks, there have been significant development there. Just this March, they designated the areas between both stadiums as a place where you can have open alcohol containers on the street. They opened the Andrew J. Brady Music Center, which is adjacent to Paul Brown Stadium. That opened this year. So, they're trying for that very reason. So, yes, Joey B's right. But it's like, can you really go put your crazy uncle on blast in front of the world to see? Internally, the family can make fun of the crazy uncle, but, if you go on the radio or on TV and make fun of the crazy uncle, well, you know what I mean. Hell to pay. There's one other thing I wanted to get to today, and I didn't. Thought I allocated our time really well, but then we did the whole first segment on the chairs. I didn't really account for that. We got new chairs. And I think we might have a winner with the chairs. We might have a winner with the new chairs.
Okay. You weren't so sold after the first segment. You seem a little better now.
I had to adjust it to make sure that the height, the tilt of both the seat and the back were all proper. But I think we're there. I'm okay with it. I can sit back in a chair for the first time in years, which is nice. But there's one other thing I wanted to get to, and I don't really have time. Bill Barnwell had a piece about what the quarterback free agent cycle is going to look like, taking his best projection. He's projecting Aaron Rodgers getting traded from Green Bay to, I thought it was Denver. Maybe I missed that one. But the long and the short of it is he has Russell Wilson getting traded to the Saints.
Love it.
Yeah. For two ones, 2 3s, and CD Deuce.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it, too. Let's cook. Auto Locks is next. AFR.
AFR.
If you need to sell your home, if 2022 is the year you start the new year in a new home, you need to call Darin James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Agent225.com. Do you know the average person that sells their home or tries to sell their home by owner? 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner, 73, nearly 3 out of 4, end up hiring a realtor. You know the reason? I mean, maybe you don't price it properly. Maybe you're just not home for showings. Whatever it could be. Maybe you're just not familiar with all the paperwork and all the listings that have to happen. Let Darin James take care of it. Call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. On the Wall Street Journal is listed the top 1% of realtors in America. 335-7666 for Darin James.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The older boy, bless his soul, is preparing for his career.
College?
Carnival.
You gotta be proud.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, last season he was a pixie dust spreader on a tilt-a-whirl. He thinks that maybe next year he'll be guessing people's weight or barking for the yak woman.
You ever seen her? Ugly sin, but a hell of a good cook. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Oh, in the spirit of the holiday season, snuggling up with Hanny downtown at Jolly Pearl. The lights all lit up downtown. Place looks good. We got my man Will Ferrell, elf, with the hat on behind us. Man. The eggnog is flowing. Oh, Christmas tree. Ho, ho, Hanny.
That alone is a reason for people to get their asses out to Jolly Pearl tonight and hang out with you two. I left us like 2 minutes, so blow and go, man. Hit me with some picks for tonight.
Oh, man. Army. You know, one thing about taking the military schools to the bowl games, we're usually catching points.
Yeah.
But we may have to kind of rethink that moving forward, laying close to a touchdown last night. That came a little bit short. But anyway, tonight, Central Florida and Florida, and it's real simple. I mean, I'm not high on the Central Florida quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. I mean, since he's been out, they've kind of slid down. But, I mean, say what you want about their little mythical national championship. They're still little brother. They still don't. These are the guys that were passed up by the SEC schools. And if anybody's going to be excited to play, I've got to take the 7 points in the Golden Knights to Central Florida in the first game. Later tonight, I'm just going to stay on this trend. I usually kind of reverse the trends. And I will say Tennessee kind of invented ways to lose that game in Heinz Field last Sunday. I mean, just turnover after turnover in the second half. But I've got to go with the stronger team right now, San Francisco, and laying the small number on the road at Tennessee. So,
all right.
Little two for Thursday. Take the day off tomorrow. You know?
Are you doing a show tomorrow, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No.
You said you might be. Okay.
I'll walk straight from St. James Church in Rubino's and just roll into a shit. No.
Otter.
No. Christmas Eve, gumbo's on the pot already, baby. Oyster
Awesome.
dressing, we'll be rolling. So, yeah. So,
Merry Christmas, Otter. We appreciate you, man.
Yes,
all the best.
Merry Christmas. All right, fellas.
We'll see you. All right. That's going to do it for us. Muso, Paulie, thanks so much. You guys have a Merry Christmas. My last show of the year. Sincere thanks to everybody who takes time to listen and to watch. Have a blessed, Merry, Happy Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. And at Relief Windows, they will never take $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work. Seriously, no deposit, no down payment. They do not want $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work that they do. That's Relief Windows. And what a time of year. We are moving to the winter months, and this is the time of year when those leaky, drafty windows can become costly. Of course, lets the cold air in, the warm air from your heater out. Make your home more energy efficient. Lower your monthly energy bills. Increase your home's resale value with energy efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable,